KK Matheny, and she's bringing a friend with her. The rookie sensation, Kiara Williams, is going to join us here in Snoqualmie Casino. So lots of stuff going on, True. I'm excited about the show. It's going to be lots of fun. First of all, I want to talk to you about some of this football that's been going on. Now, you and I were talking before we went on air, and you watch a lot of football at your house now.
Yes, I do. I watch a lot of football. At the same time, I'm kind of getting ripped off. So what I do, T, I got both sets of cable. I got Comcast and I got DirecTV. And the reason is...
Yes, please tell us why you're double dipping.
Before you start talking bad about me, my youngest brother, Desmond Trufant, plays for the Atlanta Falcons. So to be able to catch his games, I got to get the DirecTV. And to be comfortable with all my channels I like, 42 is my Cartoon Network. I pretty much live and die by that. So
yes,
I like
sir.
Comcast. I'm all, I know all my channels. I know everything is. But I got to see Dez's game, so I'm doing a little bit of both. I'm double dipping, and I'm getting they beat my pocketbook up right now.
Yeah, they would almost say that's almost being gluttonous. You know what I'm saying? You got all the cable channels.
I want it all, brother. I want it all.
No, there's no problem with that, man. So we're gonna talk a little bit about the football. I don't know if you got a chance to watch the Oakland Raiders play this weekend. I know the people in Seattle want to talk about the Seahawks, and make sure, without a single doubt, you stay tuned to the show because we are going to dig deep into that Seahawks game.
Deep.
But I want to talk about the Oakland Raiders game for one particular reason, and everybody knows the reason why is Marshawn Lynch. We love Beast Mode here in Seattle, even though he's playing for a different team. Just because he meant so much to the city, he meant so much to the organization when they went down and won the Super Bowl, and they made their way to the Super Bowl for the next season. He's just an integral part of the Seattle Seahawks, I would say. And he's the guy that you played with as well.
Yes, play with Beast Mode, and, I know he gets a lot of credit for all the things he does on the field, but I like to give him just as much credit for the stuff he does off the field, of course, with his foundation and giving back to the youth in his community down there in the Bay Area in Oakland. So it's a very good look, and just jumping into the game, I thought he looked real good, man, and I thought they were really smart just with how they broke him in. They didn't come in and give him, carry after carry after carry in the very beginning. They broke him in slow, and they kind of warmed him up. I thought it was a good look.
He had 18 carries for 76 yards, man, and I just wanted to come right out the gate and say, last year when he retired and he decided to hang up the cleats, I thought, there's no way in the world this guy's going to be able to come back. He's a little bit older now, longer in the tooth. I know what it feels like when you get a little older.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
We'll talk about that another time. We're not going to talk about me and my exploits when it tries to my comeback in football. But we're talking about Marshawn. I just thought that there was no way he could come back and be as effective as he once was when it comes to playing running back in the National Football League. And I'll be honest with you guys, I was wrong. I was sadly mistaken, and I'm happy that I am, because he looked as good as I've seen him ever. He looked spry. He was quick on his toes. He was making good cuts. And with 18 carries for 76 yards, I wish we could have some kind of productivity like that here in Seattle right now.
I agree, T, man. And I think overall, the Raiders look pretty good, man. I like the receivers. I like how Michael Crabtree and Cooper, I like how they go out and make plays. You got to respect the quarterback. And the O-line is doing their thing out there, man. So they look really good. I know they came out in their first 3 possessions of the first half, and I think they scored on those. Yeah, so they marching the ball down the field and make it happen. Then they got Ken Norton over there as the D coordinator.
Yes.
So it's a good look over there, man. I think it's a perfect fit for Marshawn. He doesn't have to do everything and be that main guy, but he can come in and shine when he needs to.
And I like Derek Carr a lot. And the reason I like Derek Carr is because he's my fantasy football quarterback. I got him starting right now, and he's got me a few points.
I was supposed to get on fantasy with you, T. Man, what happened?
You were slipping, brother. You were in Vegas. Vegas got a hold of you. You didn't get back in time for the draft, man.
Vegas got me.
We're going to get you set up for next year. Another guy that I had high expectations for this season, we talked about him earlier on this year, was Arizona Cardinals running back David Johnson. Now, this was a guy we talked about. Somebody actually texted in the show, and they asked us, which running backs are in the National Football League right now that could possibly rush for 2,000 yards? And, it's been a while since we had a 2,000-yard rusher, and I was honest. I thought that maybe this guy, David Johnson from Arizona, would be a guy that could do that. His rookie year, he went out and ran for over 1,800 yards, and he was just lights out for the Cardinals. And I was expecting big things again from him this year. He's back. To me, he was like the biggest thorn in the Seahawks side. I saw him running all over the Seahawks. But he injured himself.
Right.
He injured himself this past week, and he's out 2 to 3 months. And so that is out the window. At this point, I don't see the Arizona Cardinals. They were really riding his back, I think, as far as any chance for them to compete in the NFC West. And the reason why I bring him up now is because we're looking at the NFC West. Who is there to be afraid of in the NFC West right now? The Seahawks are basically, if they could just remain healthy and remain somewhat competitive, there's no hope for anybody else right now.
Right. I think that's a good thing, T.
I'm not saying there's anything bad with
I think that's a good thing, and that's the kind of the way, of course, it's all about staying healthy. So a team is only as good as its best players are, and when you got your best players going down, it's going to be a tough season. But the teams that are really good, they find a way, of course, to weather that storm, and your backups got to step up. And, it goes back to the cliche stuff. You're only a play away from starting and all that kind of stuff. So you got to definitely but you got to rely on your backups, and you got to rally as a team and just try to take that next step. But I don't see Arizona doing it like that. I don't know who their backup running back is, but I know
they actually brought back, I think, Chris Johnson.
Oh, yeah?
Old school, yeah.
Okay.
They're digging deep. So right now they've got an old geriatrics team. It's like an old folks home in Arizona. Because ain't that where old folks go to retire anyways, it's Arizona.
AZ, yeah.
So, yeah, they got Carson Palmer.
Sunshine.
Exactly. They got Carson Palmer out there. Now, you came in the league with Carson, didn't you?
Yep, and he's still playing. So hats off to that.
Hats off to him. That's why I call it the old folks league out there in Arizona.
Don't do me like that, Tito.
They got him leading the team right now, quarterback, and he didn't have a very successful game last week. Larry Fitzgerald is still out there. Now, he's Larry Fitzgerald. He's gonna make plays, but I think he's past his prime, obviously. And then you got a guy like Chris Johnson coming back in the fold to be the guy toting the rock as far as running back. It's not a good look for those guys, bro.
I'm not gonna count old Fitz out because I've seen him show up, in games when people think he's that old man. And if you throw it to him, 9 times out of 10, he is going to catch it. I can say that he's one of those guys that I played against that always gave me fits because he has some of the best hands that I've ever seen in the NFL.
Yeah, it remains to be seen what the NFC is going to look like, the NFC West for sure. And we're definitely going to talk about the Seahawks because if they don't step up the play at some of the positions that we're going to discuss tonight.
Oh, it's a team, Terry. It's a team.
It is a team. It is a team, but there are some certain positions that need a little bit of help, and we're definitely going to talk about it tonight. True, I want to ask you a question.
Okay.
I want to know if this beef is real. Because sometimes, you hear about guys that have beef, whether it's a Twitter beef or whether it's just,
Twitter fingers
or rap beef or beef with guys between professional sports teams. If it's really real. Now, there's a beef going on right now between Kevin Durant and Steph Curry.
Oh.
And these guys are on the same basketball team. The Golden State Warriors, they got a little beef going on, True.
Okay.
Now, if you guys have not heard about this, the beef is Kevin Durant, he's sponsored by Nike.
Okay.
He's one of the big athletes that are on a Nike contract. And he took some shots at Under Armour. Now, Steph Curry happens to be an athlete that is sponsored by Under Armour. Now, these guys being on the same team, you wouldn't think they would have a beef like that, but Kevin Durant came out and said recently that nobody wants to play in Under Armours. Now, Chef Curry clapped back. You can't just go out like that.
Right.
Chef Curry clapped back and said, well, where we were 4 years ago with Under Armour and where we are now, you can't tell me that nobody wants to wear our shoes when I know for a fact they do.
Right.
So there's some tension right there in the locker room, True.
I would agree. And I think the main point of what you just said about Chef Curry is that wear our shoes. So this man is a brand ambassador, and he has stake in the company.
He does, yeah.
I think this beef is real. I know that he has to come out and say all the right things. We're teammates and all that kind of stuff. But when he go home, and I know when he talking with his wife, he like, KD, man, is messing with my money. This is where, business, and this is just how it goes. And that's how it goes in business. And you upset, but you got to play the game. So it's always about the game. You got to remain cool, and you got to be teammates. That's how it goes. But he probably went to KD on some man-to-man. It was like, bro, I think you might have slipped up, or you must have forgot, as in Roy Jones, that
you must have forgot.
Yeah, that this is business, man. You can't do that.
So you think it affects their own on-the-court play?
I don't think so, but you know.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But I'm going to ask you this $1 million question, and I want to hear from you guys out there, too. Text us here at the show, 49451, and let us know. And I want to ask you, True, straight up.
Okay.
Because KD said nobody wants to wear Under Armours, right?
Yeah.
And I want you to keep it 100% real with me right now. And everybody out there listening, text us and let us know, too, 49451. Would you, right now, go out to the store and buy a pair of Under Armour shoes? Put them on your feet.
Is that the only part of the question?
That's the only. Would you go right now?
Yeah.
You would buy some Under Armour shoes.
Yep.
You telling this? Look at me, dead in my face, and telling the truth.
I've played basketball against people that have been wearing these, and I asked, I like, how do those feel? And people give some pretty good reviews about them. So, you know, I like a variety. So I'm not saying that that's going to be my only shoe, but I would purchase a pair.
Did they look good on your feet when they was out there wearing them?
As I get older, it's not so much about the look, Terry. It's more about the function.
You
brother.
want performance over look, right? Is that what you're doing?
Absolutely.
Listen. Hey, 49451. Let us know right now. Would you put some Under Armour on your feet? I don't think I would, man. I'm not sure. I like to, you know.
And that sound like hating your blood, brother.
I'm not hating, and I don't know. I just have, for one, I've never seen any that look good, and for two, I just don't know if they perform the way they're supposed to perform, man. You know, I have tender ankles, man, and I just can't allow my ankles to be subject to any kind of footwear.
But you kind of see how Chef do it, though. He wear the Under Armours, and then he got those braces that kind of look like the Forrest Gump
I'm not wearing
joints
braces.
that
I'm not wearing
got you locked in.
Hey, y'all, I'll tell you what. Listen, if you want to wear some Under Armours, you know where you should wear them? You should wear them to the bowling event that you guys are having at Acme Bowl True, because they probably make some bowling shoes, too, some Under Armour bowling shoes, right?
I wouldn't doubt it, and they probably fresh. They are functional. October 2nd at Acme Bowl. If you can go down to TrufantFamilyFoundation.com, get more information, come out, support the youth in the community. It's a great event. T, this is year 13. Actually, we've been doing this thing, so it's a great event. Man, we have all types of people coming out. Last year we had Richard Sherman, we had Deshaun Shedd, we had Lawyer Malloy. We had all types of people come out. It's a great event. So, yeah, make sure you guys are out there October 2nd at Acme Bowl in Tukwila. Go to TrufantFamilyFoundation.com to get more information about this bowling event. It's a spectacular event. I will be there and definitely not wearing any Under Armour shoes. Hey, when we come back, we're going to be talking about those Seahawks, the game that they just lost to Green Bay. We're going to try to figure out what they need to do to right the ship coming into Game 2 this weekend versus the San Francisco 49ers. This is the Barbershop coming to you live from Snoqualmie Casino on Sports Radio 950 KJR.
Kimmy Klein with a check on the drive. An earlier crash near JBLM North 5 at Berkeley is cleared out of the left lane, but both directions are recovering. Now in Kent, there's a crash on the 516 ramp to southbound 167. And your travel time on the east side from Bellevue to Renton's about 25 minutes, so slowly improving. South 5 into Seattle, though, still heavy from 85th Street through the Convention Center. This report brought to you by Papa Murphy's Pizza. Papa Murphy's Law of Fresh means just chopped vegetables, cheese grated daily, and scratch-made dough. Fresh means Papa Murphy's doesn't even have an oven because you have an oven. Tonight, home bake a large half pepperoni, half Hawaiian Papa's Perfect. Just $10 at Papa Murphy's. Love at 425 degrees. I'm Kimmy Klein, Sports Radio 950 KJR Traffic.
This portion of the show is brought to you by Paul Civilian.
Now back to the Barbershop, brought to you by Trufant Auto Detail and by the Trufant Family Foundation on Seattle Sports Radio 950 KJR.
Who wanna bet us that we don't touch letters, stack cheddars?
Sports Radio 950 KJR. It's T. Holla and True coming to you live from Snoqualmie Casino. Make sure you stay tuned. The top of the next hour, we are going to have a couple of our friends joining us from Seattle Mist, the ladies' national champions when it comes to football here in our city. Quarterback KK Matheny is going to join us here. Kiara Williams is going to join us as well. True, I know you got a chance to watch your Cougars this weekend. I got the chance to watch my dogs do their thing. Man, I tell you what, bro. Watching those Huskies put that 63-7 beat down on the Montana Grizzlies, I was really pumped up, man. The defense was the whole team was really dominant, man. I don't know if you got I know you don't watch a lot of the Huskies, man. But
I watch a little bit. I mean, I took a peek at some of the highlights, but I'm gonna let you take the lead on your Huskies, and I'm gonna talk about my Cougars.
And I know we don't have a lot of time, but I just gotta say they were just so dominant, man. You watch a 63-7 victory like that take place in Husky Stadium. Some of the highlights, you got a chance to see Dante Pettis, a guy who we wanted to see if he was going to be able to emerge this year out of the shadow of a guy like John Ross, and he absolutely has. You see him not doing only his thing at the wide receiver position, but as a punt returner, he is now the most prolific punt returner in the history of the Pac-12. He broke Deshaun Jackson's Pac-12 record for punt returns. One more this season, and he'll break Russ Welker's NCAA record. And so I'm really pumped up about that. You got a chance to see 74 guys take the field this past weekend for the Huskies.
Right.
And I think that is something that's huge. You know, you get a chance to get those young guys an opportunity out there to get that live fire. It's a lot different than practice, you know what I'm saying? And I just think it was a good all-around effort by my dogs, man, leading into this weekend. We got to go see Fresno State in Husky Stadium. And here's the thing, real quick, before we get off the subject, is that we've been catching a lot of flack for playing some teams that are not top tier.
Right.
And I think, you know, there's not a problem with us playing some of these teams to get ready for the Pac-12 season. And I don't think there's a problem with some of these teams wanting to come in here and get that exposure, getting a chance to play on the big screen, get a chance to play on that big stage like Husky Stadium. And people should stop knocking the schools that schedule some of these smaller schools like that. True?
Right. And, you know, now that I call myself a businessman, see, it's all about business, man. So when you got these schools, they want to come up and they want to play against the big boys. It's all about the business. They're bringing in funds for that school. And I know that you talked about the Huskies. They got a lot of young guys. They got to play and stuff like that. It was a blowout, of course. But the Cougars, on the other side, we had a lot of adversity in our game against Boise State. There was a lot of stuff going on. Quarterback gets hurt. Young guys coming in, man, it's a back-and-forth game, and I think a team can grow from that as well. You get down, and they're going to have to use this throughout the season. I don't know when Falk is supposed to come back, but adversity, I think good teams that's coached well, like the Cougs are going to grow from this, and they're going to do just a lot of good things with it, man. It was back and forth. It was kind of nasty. I thought it was nasty. It was nasty at times, but you get through it and you make it happen.
You know, Luke Falk actually he came back. He came back. They sat him down and he came back. He got injured. From what I understand from Coach Leach and the injury report is that he will be available to play this weekend. But there's a young guy. They got a young guy that's coming up now, Tyler Helinski, and you get a chance to see the future of that program. And I think it's looking good for the Cougars, man. And again, when we talk about some of the smaller schools coming up and playing the big Pac-12 schools on a big stage, and you look at a team like a Boise State, they're supposed to get blown out, right? But
Allegedly.
But see, these guys, they earn the scholarship too. That's what I like to say. These guys earn a scholarship too, and so they go out there and they put 21 points on the Cougars, and they had an opportunity to win. So you never know, man. It's college football. Anything can happen. A lot of emotions are involved. You got young teenagers that are playing football, man, on such a big stage, and anything can happen any given Saturday. That's what I like to say. I know I wanted to talk about this a lot longer, but I want to get ready because I'm hyped up for the next segment.
All right.
I'm hyped up because it's not often that you get the chance to sit down and talk to world champions, and we're going to get a chance to talk to a couple of world champions from our own Seattle Mist. They won back-to-back national championships in football. So get the quarterback here. KK Matheny is joining us, and rookie sensation Kiara Williams is going to join us here in the Barbershop. So make sure you stay tuned. Coming up, it's the Barbershop coming to you live from Snoqualmie Casino on Sports Radio 950 KJR.
Trufant Auto Detail is the right fit for anyone with a full schedule but appreciates a clean vehicle. Whether you're going to practice, going to close a deal, or just out on date night, a dirty car will only slow you down. Trufant Auto Detail was trusted by my hometown Seattle Seahawks to keep their cars in Pro Bowl shape. And you should too. Go ahead.
Trufant Auto Detail and by the Trufant Family Foundation on Seattle Sports Radio 950 KJR.
Welcome back to the Barbershop Show here on Sports Radio 950 KJR. It's me, T. Holl. I'm here with my man Marcus Trufant, and we are coming to you live from the incredible Snoqualmie Casino. See, I was close to casino. I bet you didn't know that, True.
Hey, yeah, I did, T. I knew that. I thought that was my part. I was about to say that, and you just.
Well, I was trying to get you moving, and you looked like you was focused on your.
Always trying to take my shine, man. I dig it, though.
I'm just trying to help out, man. It's a team effort, man.
Right.
Team makes the dream work. Teamwork makes the dream work. Thank you guys for joining us here tonight. We have an incredible show. We want to hear from you guys, though. 49451. Let us know what's on your mind. Tonight, we're going to be taking your questions. It's called Holla Holla with T Holla and True, right?
Hey.
Ain't that what we call it?
Holla Holla with True and T Holla.
That's the one. We want to hear what's on your mind, man. Any question, whether it's personal, sports-related, current events, whatever is on your mind, text us here at the station, 49451, and let us know what you're thinking about. We're definitely going to talk to you about those Seahawks, man. We want to know what you thought about that game this past weekend. What do they need to do to correct things, to right the ship, to get on board and ready for when the San Francisco 49ers enter CenturyLink Field this weekend? We need to know what they need to do. And we're definitely going to talk about it later on tonight.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But before we get into all that, we have some very special guests that have joined us here tonight at Snoqualmie Casino. True, and it's not very often you get to be in the midst of champions.
Championship. Yeah.
We got a couple champions here. The Seattle Mist of the LFL, the Seattle Mist Ladies Football, Legends Football League. These ladies are back-to-back national champions. 2 years in a row, they've won the ring.
That's crazy. That's
big time. And it's all because of, a lot of teamwork, a lot of camaraderie, a lot of hard work, and the leadership of the quarterback that we are fortunate to have with us here tonight. KK Matheny is joining us, and she has brought a friend with her, rookie sensation, who we're going to call Key. You got it right, Key Williams?
I like it.
Key Williams.
That works.
Kiara is her real name. We're going to call her Key.
Got to call her Key.
Key.
So much easier.
Right on. Thank you, ladies, for joining us here tonight. First of all, I want to say thank you and congratulations on being world champions.
Absolutely.
Thank you, guys. Thank
Back
you
to
so
back,
much.
back to back.
Back to back. You got
Feels good.
You got the hardware once again this season.
Sure did. And, it's surreal as an athlete. Obviously, that's what your expectations are 9 months prior to your championship game. But everything going into it, you just feel it all when you win that cup and win that ring. And I have no idea how you feel as a rookie, but as a veteran of 8 years, obviously that's what you strive for. And without that hardware, it feels like not really a loss, but at the end of the day, it's 9 months of
Your life,
hard
blood,
work.
sweat, and tears.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Training camp in the rain and the cold and the sleet in Seattle, obviously, as we know.
Right.
And January is not fun for any Seattle.
Absolutely not. And it makes all those 6 a.m. practices worth it. So the 2-a-days, all of it comes full circle. And yeah, even as a rookie, there was nothing like it. It was the greatest feeling.
I'm definitely going to ask you guys about that grind for sure as we go along. But one thing I want to say, I want to put this out there to you guys and to all the Seattle that's listening and to the universe. I remember when I first heard about the LFL and the Seattle Mist. And I thought in my head, this is a gimmick. This is just a gimmick. This is, to get guys to come out and watch football. And it's probably going to be, powder puff. And it's not going to stick around for a while. And then I remember seeing a friend of mine by the name of Cam Warner signed up for your team. And I know Cam very well. And I said, there is no way Cam is signing up for anything that's fake. And so I went out and watched the games, and I was like, holy smokes. These girls play real football. So for anybody that's out there listening, and you do not think these girls play real football, these ladies play smash mouth, bang up, tackle football. So I want to ask you guys, do you guys still get that a lot, that stigma that says, hey, these girls aren't really playing football?
Yeah, at the beginning, for sure. I think that's kind of what the concept was. And then it's turned into, like I said, I've played for 8 years, so I've seen it from conception to now. And literally on our team, we have nothing but Division I, Division II athletes, whether you're track, soccer, softball, basketball.
I didn't know that. Yeah, okay.
Almost every girl that plays for us or starts for us has played at the college level at one of the highest levels that you can play as a female. And when I tell people that, obviously they see that on the field, and then they're shocked when they do come to a game at the amount of football that we actually play on the field. And we really are football players, and we take it very seriously.
Right. Well, I see the game. I've been to a couple games, T, and like you said, there's no games out there. I got a lot of respect actually, for what you guys do out there. It's real football. I know my middle brother, he played in the Arena League for a couple years, so I know what that wall's about.
Oh, exactly. Those walls aren't fun for quarterbacks either.
It is no fun. I've seen people flip over the wall, do all kind of stuff with the wall. But I want to talk about the lifespan of a player in your league. I know in the NFL, they say it stands for not for long. Guys get injuries and stuff like that. And so how long is the average lifespan, I guess, in you guys' league?
Normally in the LFL, it's about 2 years, which I think is average for the NFL as well, just because of a lot of different things. Obviously, your bodies, it takes a toll. We also work full-time jobs and play football, so that takes a lot. And then a lot of the women on our team also have families. They're either married or have kids, as well as balancing a full-time job and then our full-time commitment to football. So 9 months out of the year, we're training, working full-time, and then dealing with families. So it takes a lot to come back, for sure. I did play in Florida for 5 years, and then I played overseas in Australia, came to Seattle after Australia. I thought I was going to retire. Every year you go through that. Are you going to retire? Are you going to try and start a family? Are you going to, make those commitments elsewhere? But yeah, I would say average is 2 years, whether injuries happen or other life things happen.
Yeah, and I mean, you get sucked in kind of quick. Like, it's pretty addicting. Like, at the beginning of the season, I wasn't so sure as to, like, what I was going to do or how long it was going to last. But by the end, I'm like, I can't wait for next year. Like, when's the next practice?
Right. I guess to piggyback off that, kind of give me the day in the life of what a normal day is, I guess, for you guys. You know, you guys got jobs and you got practice and you do weights or whatever you do. I guess give me a day in the life.
So during season, obviously we go through stages just like the NFL or professional athlete would. At the beginning of the season, we have training camp and mini camp. Obviously, we start off with tryouts in January. Then once we go into mini camp and training camp, it gets full-fledged, 4 practices a week. Everybody, as far as the girls are concerned, I personally work out in the mornings before work. So I train from 6:30 all the way up to 7:30 or 8:30, depending on my work schedule of the day. And then I go to a full day of work. And then if I can, I'll get in the routes afterwards, after practice. But we're doing that. I'm doing that 5 days a week pre-season for 3 months. And then I train at Ford Sports Performance.
And she is on Swole. I guess for anybody who's listening, she is on Swole.
She's making me a little nervous right now, standing sitting next to me, man.
Right.
Go
ahead, my bad.
My muscles in.
You're fine. No, you're fine.
So I got this question. So you have regular jobs, you live your regular lives, and I'm going to ask this question. True's going to laugh at me because anybody that's been listening to the Barbershop for the last few weeks understands that we had a flag football game a few weeks ago that I played in and Marcus played in and a few other professional football players played in, and I hurt myself. I've been hurt for like 4 weeks.
It was so funny. I got some video.
He's like, I'm still hurt,
I'm going to show y'all.
But I was balling, though, but I'm hurt. So my question, like you guys obviously have to deal with injuries. How do you deal with that because you have to go live a regular life during the daytime?
We are so fortunate, though, that we have an amazing training staff that not every other team in the league has. So, I mean, it is hard to balance work and practice and all that stuff. But even between, like, you might give up a workout here or there to go see the trainers and get worked on that way. But, I mean, yeah, you get hit, and then there's, like, bumps and bruises for a while. But, I mean, you get over it at some point.
And our trainers come out to all of our practices, whether we have a 2-a-day. Our coach is kind of crazy. Love him to death. Coach Chris Michelson. Check out some of these YouTube highlights. You'll know what I'm saying. But we have a training staff that will come out to our 2-a-days at 6 a.m. and be out there at 5 a.m. just taping us and taking care of our bodies, cupping, whatever it is we need done before we get into our grind. And then, obviously, the 6 p.m. session on our weekends. So we definitely do try and balance that. But just like any athlete, we definitely deal with injuries. For sure.
Yes, you're listening to the Barbershop here on Sports Radio 950 KJR, and we have a couple of special guests with us from the Seattle Mist, the world champion Seattle Mist, back-to-back world champions. They won the championship 2 years in a row, ladies and gentlemen. We got quarterback KK Matheny and Key Williams with us here. I want to ask you a question, Key, real quick, because it is your rookie year.
Yes.
This is your first time playing full contact football.
Yes.
So, For all of you guys out there listening, I'm going to put you on the spot. I'll put your business out there.
Front Street.
Do it. Let's hear it.
Key Williams comes from a lineage of athletes. Her brother is NFL star wide receiver Kason Williams, who we love very much here in the Barbershop. We talked about him a lot this preseason, obviously. So, obviously, football comes through your bloodline a little bit.
A little bit. I didn't have an option.
Yeah. But that's what I wanted to ask you. So how did you make the decision to decide to come out and play full contact football?
I mean, I had been thinking about it for a while, kind of going back and forth. Not gonna lie, I was gonna try it 2 years ago, chickened out a little bit. And then this year I was like, you know what, screw it, I'm gonna go. And to my belief, I knew a lot about football based on my family, and I was like, oh yeah, like I know what all the positions are, often, you know, basic things. Then I get out there and I knew close to nothing. Like, we get to practice and coach starts calling out like routes and this and that, and I was like, what's that?
It got real fast.
Yeah,
right.
like real quick. And even from like a family of football, let me tell you, I had a lot to learn, but it was well worth it. I had a ton of fun and would not take it back.
So listen, you obviously, I saw you online returning kicks. You're obviously a receiver.
Yes,
Okay.
And a corner.
And a corner.
Defense, baby, defense.
Defense, lockdown corner.
Yes.
So I want to ask both of you right now. So you had a family history of football. Who did you look up to while you were growing up? Did you look up to other athletes in other sports, or even in football? Who did you look up to and say, hey, I idolize that person, I want to be just like that person, or whatever, I'm motivated to be like that?
Actually, growing up, I like watched obviously a lot of football, but I was more like into teams. But since I played soccer, I, of course, like every little girl, idolized Mia Hamm. I was obsessed with her. And she was by far the person that I was like so motivated by and literally wanted to be just like her. Like I swore I was going to go to North Carolina and play soccer, and literally because of her, I was like from day one playing D1 soccer.
Okay.
So I ended up at Arizona State. Don't regret it at all. Absolutely loved it. Wasn't North Carolina.
I mean, Arizona State, if you had to
Loved
be
it.
somewhere, right?
Yeah,
Go to college.
exactly.
Arizona State's not bad.
It's not a shabby place to end up.
I mean, you know, it was all right, but just
Okay.
kidding. No, it was amazing.
All right. So, KK, how about you?
Goodness, man, to pick one would just be a shame. I grew up watching all kinds of football, obviously with my dad, college football, big avid fan, and then obviously professional football as well. Peyton Manning has to be one of my top athletes that I've always followed, even when I was 10 years old. Might be giving away a little bit of my age, but you know, watching him at the Indianapolis Colts and then obviously go on to the Broncos, and he just has a command for his offense that I feel like a lot of other quarterbacks, there are some that can do the same thing. And so I idolized him for sure. And then, of course, I absolutely loved Drew Brees growing up because he's a little guy just like me, and he's out there slinging the rock. So I had to watch him as well, and, you know, loved what he did and proving people wrong as far as his height. And, you know, I get that all the time. So,
You know, that's funny that you mentioned that. I wanted to bring that up to you tonight. You probably get a lot of flack, obviously, because of your size. You're not.
For sure.
You're what? You're 5'2",
I'm 5'2".
and you know,
5'4" right now.
with your heels
5'4"
on,
in
right?
heels.
Right now, okay?
Every little bit
Unfortunately,
counts.
you don't get to play in those heels. But I mean, what are some of the adversities you had to overcome, and how did you overcome it? Because I've seen you play. And I know around the league you're known as one of the most prolific quarterbacks to ever play in the league. Mm-hmm. So what did you have to do? What kind of mindset did you get into to get out there and perform in the way that you do?
You know, it's kind of like an underdog mindset that I've had my whole life, but I love it. It's what motivates me in the morning, what motivates me still to train for 8 years, and it really fuels my fire, fuels my passion. And I love when a team used to line up against me and be like, that's their quarterback? And I was like, yep,
That's
me.
it?
That's me right here. That's me.
Right.
And then I would go out there and, of course, in my first couple seasons of the league, throw bombs right over their heads, and they'd be like, what just happened? Or be scrambling in the backfield and having these 215-pound linebackers not be able to get me. So, you know, the underdog mindset's what's always driven me. Everybody always underestimates me, and I love it. But at the same time now, like you said, 8 years in, I was just announced as one of the most accomplished quarterbacks in the league. So after this championship, which is amazing, and obviously I wouldn't be there without any of my teammates and coaching staff around me. Obviously they make me the player that I am for sure. But that underdog mindset really has always fueled me.
I want to talk about some of the stuff that, that the players are only privy to on the field. I watch some highlights, and I see y'all on the field. It's a lot of trash talk. It's a lot of attitude. It's a lot of stuff going on, and I like it. I like it as a defensive player. I was always kind of a quiet player. I would do stuff kind of when the ref wasn't looking. I was that type of player, but you guys kind of go in. So what's some of the I guess we're keeping it clean, but what's some of the foulest stuff or the funniest stuff I guess you hear on the field out there?
Oh, we talk about a lot of moms. I feel bad.
Your mama jokes?
And I love my mom, you know? And
I love your mom.
That's a good one. And it's funny because I'm a lot like you. I guess I'm more of a quiet player, and I'll just have rebuttals if I have to, or I just let my game speak for itself. But for her, as a defensive player, I'm going to let Key talk about this one a little bit because I know she's been getting it in, and she's a rookie over here talking trash.
What happened?
I'm quiet.
The mouth.
I'll like make a play and then just kind of walk off. No, when, I don't know, you hear where to even start. There's absolutely no filter, let me tell you.
There's absolutely no filter. And it's encouraged as well.
It is. And I mean, something happens, like whether they're mad or like, usually it's they're mad because you made some play and then it's like never ending.
Right.
But I mean, hey, you just go down the field next time, you shut them up real quick, and then it usually continues.
Big difference between women's sports and male sports for sure is a guy can get punched in the mouth and get over it the next play.
Yeah.
Girls, not so much.
Hold
if that's
that
happening
grudge.
after that whistle, there's a lot being said and a lot of still fighting probably going on.
They're going to chase you down to the bench.
Oh, exactly. Which is probably one of the entertaining things to watch as well. But
I'm saying it does definitely
take
keep
it to heart.
Entertaining. Yeah.
And they let you guys go for a little bit as far as the back and forth and
Oh,
stuff?
yeah,
They-
let us go.
Yeah.
Almost like hockey? They kind of let y'all get a couple blows in?
They
and
might
then
even let us throw a couple, here and there, as long as it's elbows. But
Yeah, they've gotten
they
pretty strict on
did
the-
start a new rule this year that we couldn't throw any punches or we would be ejected because it was getting a little bit out of hand. Because
Yeah.
girls get scrappy.
Hey.
You know, we like to
Hey,
scrap.
it's real out there.
That makes me kind of nervous now. I'm kind of nervous
You
about
might not
going
want
back.
to be out there.
I'm nervous
I want
about
to go
sit-
see.
I'm
I want to
nervous
go
about
see
sitting
that.
here with them. Hey.
Well, you can pull up some YouTube highlights real quick.
It's the Barbershop Show with Marcus and T. Holler. We got special guests with us, KK Matheny and Key Williams from the Seattle Mist, the world champion Seattle Mist. And before we get you out of here, I just want to make sure that everybody out there listening understands that these ladies are not only are they playing real, serious, smash mouth football, but that if you go to one of their games, you're going to get a real life experience, like a real football experience. And I just want to, before we get you out, I want you guys to talk about that a little bit because I've been to some of the games and you guys have die-hard fans. Like, you guys have people that come every single game, don't miss a game. They have the shirts, they have the jerseys, they are real deal fans. So talk about that game day experience, especially you as a rookie, Key, what it was like getting out there in front of the fans.
First off, thank you to our fans because, yeah, like nothing would be even possible with this whole team, like our backing, everything without them. And, yeah, honestly, as a rookie, like first game out there, it was nothing like what I was expecting. I mean, our whole city backs like everything. Seattle's 100% known for that. And even our games, you get out there and we have easily the loudest stadium out there. And everyone fully is there, loves coming to the game, fully supports, extra loud, like I said. And it's surreal.
You guys got groupies?
Yes.
After the game,
I was getting to that. I just had to know that you
There's
guys
definitely,
got groupies.
what is it, the Misfit Crew?
we got Misfits.
Yes, they are at
And-
every
and-
single game.
It's amazing though because we definitely have an eighth man, like she talked
Yes.
about for sure. And after the games, what's so surreal is we have fans that'll wait in our autograph line for 2 to 3 hours after the game just to come up and take a picture, give us a gift, make us sign their chest. And, there's no
You
stopping
name
it.
it.
You name it. It's probably happened.
I think I'm going to get myself a Seattle Mist crop top tree. come to the game and get my chest signed next
I'm
year.
saying, make sure it
And
gets
make sure
signed
you
after,
give me
though.
one, too.
I got you. I
She
got
gonna sign you on
I
the
know
list.
somebody. I know somebody.
Twinsies.
I know a couple people. I got you guys.
Hey, now you threw that out there. We're holding you to that.
All right, before we go now, three-peat. Is it going to happen? I know I hate to put you on the spot, but you got 2 years in a row. This, you guys, you were even undefeated this season, right?
We're 6-0 this season. We've gotten 2 out of the 3 last championships. We have been in the Legends Cup 3 years straight in a row, and we've won 2 out of the 3 of them. So,
Is the next one coming?
She's
Well,
Rookie stepping out and making it
I
happen.
love
I
it.
like it. I like
freaking
it.
love
I
it.
like it. I like it. Yeah.
So you heard it here first in the barbershop. Seattle Mist is going to three-peat on their World Championship LFL. They're going to get another ring. You guys got 3 rings.
we got to get it. Got to get the hardware.
All right.
well, yeah. I only have 1, so.
We got to get the rookies
It
a
has
couple
to keep
more.
coming.
All right. Hey, thank you guys for joining us here. Thank you for coming out to
Much
Snoqualmie
appreciated.
Casino. We're definitely going to get you guys back next season for sure. You guys down with that?
Oh, for sure.
sure.
Thank you so much for having us on.
Yeah,
Right on,
thank
right
you.
on,
Thank
right
you.
on. Hey, when we come back, Marcus and I are going to talk about these Seahawks, man, what happened against Green Bay, and what we think they need to do to right the ship before they take the field at the CenturyLink Field this weekend, True. You
Yes,
down for
sir.
that?
Let's get it.
Only in the barbershop here on Sports Radio 950 KJR.
The Trufant Family Foundation is dedicated to enriching the community by empowering the youth to excel both in academics and sports. Created by me, Marcus Trufant, in 2003, we have helped hundreds of kids in the Pacific Northwest and beyond. Our mission is simple. Let's make dreams come true for the disadvantaged children in our area. We believe all children deserve a chance to achieve greatness. For more information or to donate, head over to Trufant.
Now back to the Barbershop, brought to you by Trufant Auto Detail and by the Trufant Family Foundation on Seattle Sports Radio 950 KJR.
Welcome back to the Barbershop Show here on Sports Radio 950 KJR. It's T. Holla, my man Marcus Trufant. It's 7:30 on a beautiful Wednesday night. Out here at the casino, hanging out with the beautiful people in here.
Yes, Lord.
Having a lot of fun. We've been playing cornhole right here in front of our table, man. I'm gonna get out there and play at the next break, man. I'm feeling lucky tonight.
I see people is balling out here a little bit, man. I've been seeing some shots go in, so it's a good look,
They're
man.
doing their thing, man. I appreciate everybody hanging out with us here tonight, whether you're listening on 950 KJR AM in Seattle or on the iHeartRadio app around the world. We appreciate you being here with us. Thanks to the ladies from the Seattle Mist for coming out and hanging out with us, man.
That was big, man. That was big.
Always good to hang out with, and they play real football. And listen, guys, I'm not putting any extras on it. They play real football.
I dare y'all to go see it.
I double dog dare you.
I dare you.
Yeah, it's gonna be it's a lot of fun. You're gonna see some girls out there that are real athletes that are really doing their thing. Hey, listen, we want to hear from you guys tonight. We're gonna do Holla Holla with True and T Holla, where you guys can ask us any question that is on your mind. It does not matter what it is, what the subject, whether it's a personal, sports related, whatever. Marcus and I are gonna do our best to answer it. It might not be the answer you're looking for,
But it's gonna be real,
but
man.
we're
That's how we
gonna
get
give it to
down,
you.
man.
We're
That's how we get
definitely
down
gonna
in the
give it to
shop.
you. Somebody actually sent me a message, True, and I know we got the Trufant Bowl that's going to take place at Acme Bowl in Tukwila on October 2nd to benefit the Trufant Family Foundation, which does a lot of great stuff for kids in the area. You guys give away a scholarship to every high school in Tacoma, amongst other things that you guys do. That's huge. We want to make sure everybody knows about that. You go to TrufantFamilyFoundation.com to register for that thing. A lot of the Seahawks are going to be there. In the past years, we've had Richard Sherman, Doug Baldwin, Bobby Wagner. We've even had Marshawn Lynch out there.
Right.
It's going to be a star-studded event. And, again, to raise money for a good cause. Make sure you guys are there October 2nd. But somebody just sent me a message about another bowling event that's going to be taking place at Lucky Strike. And that is going to be benefiting people that are suffering from Hurricane Harvey. So that is going to be on September 18th at 8 o'clock. If you guys want more information about that, go to bowlluckystrike.com. And all the money that they make that night is going to go to help the people who are suffering from Hurricane Harvey. Again, that's bowlluckystrike.com. September 18th, they're going to be getting that underway. So
Nice.
Do your part to help the community. We're out there trying to do our thing, man. So we appreciate you guys for doing so. True, the Seattle Seahawks, man. I want to ask you a question real quick.
Okay.
Is it too early to suffer from SLD? Now, before we go here, a lot of people who are not familiar with the show might not know what SLD is.
It's been a long time since we talked about SLD, too.
It has been, man.
Yeah. It's been a while.
It's called Seahawks Loss Disorder. And it is immediately following a Seahawks loss, you get this feeling of just deep depression. And it falls over the entire city. Now, you know the Monday morning after the Seahawks lose, work is a little bit extra tough. It's a little bit harder to get up in the morning. The coffee just isn't quite as good, and people aren't nearly as friendly in the city as they normally are. That's SLD.
Preach, T. Preach.
Is it too early for me to have it?
You know what, T? I think it's way too early. There's a lot of football left to be played in this season, and don't get me wrong. Of course, there's things we need to work on: offense, defense, all the way around. This game, I know we're going to get into the details of it, but I think it's way too early to even start pointing the finger.
If it's too early, then why do I feel it? I've been feeling it for the last 3 days. I'll be honest with you. Being here in this environment at the Snoqualmie Casino and getting in the mist with the Seattle Mist girls and feeling that championship vibe, I'm starting to get over it a little bit, getting a little bit closer to game day, to when the Seahawks get to take on the San Francisco 49ers this weekend. But it's been tough, man. I was really expecting a lot from Seattle when they went down to play Green Bay this past weekend. And if you guys have been either in a cave or hiding underneath the rock, Seattle Seahawks lost to Green Bay 17-9 in Lambeau Field this past weekend. And I know there was a lot of things to take away from that game, True. And I kind of wanted to go over the good, the bad, and the ugly with you here, man. First of all, let's start off with the good part.
Okay.
I would say the defense of the Seattle Seahawks looked very good. I would say they looked, obviously a lot better than the offense did, but very good. The trade for Sheldon Richardson, it makes the Seahawks look like geniuses at this point because the guy is virtually unblockable. He's in the backfield disrupting things all the time. The defensive line looked like they were in midseason form. Other than the fact that I see a couple times, you saw Michael Bennett go down with cramps because I think, you got to imagine these guys haven't played a full game since last season. But they held the Green Bay Packers to 0 points in the first half.
Right.
So I think the defense looked good, True.
Right, and I'm going to tell you something about this game in general, though, that, a lot of Seahawk fans, they might not even feel this and they might not even be thinking this way, but I thought that this game was kind of nasty on both sides as far as Green Bay and the Seahawks. Just watching the game as a football fan and watching the game of football, Green Bay didn't look very good. They didn't look very good in the beginning either. They were kind of sputtering around and they were looking a little nasty. And you can give that to the defense, but I'm just looking at it from a football standpoint. So I would agree with you. I thought the defense, I thought they did well. Just like you said, I like Mr. Richardson in the middle right there. I think he's going to be big for us. We can keep him healthy. I think it's going to be a real good look. But I know the Seahawks are looking for more. I know they're always looking for more. And like I said, it's still early. Everybody's improving. But on defense, I know we want to get those turnovers. They want to be able to change the game. They just don't want to hold teams. They want to be able to get the ball back to the offense. Yeah,
and when they were playing really good, that's what they did.
Right.
They won the turnover battle. And I think they need to do a better job of that coming up this weekend. A guy that I was excited to see out there doing his thing was Earl Thomas. There were some questions whether he was going to come back and be the same Earl Thomas that he was before he broke his leg last season. And I have to say, he looked as good as I've ever seen him in a Seahawks jersey. He was out there flying around like a bat out of hell, running into stuff like he didn't give a damn about his body, and just having a good time, man. And it was just really good to see that. Sherm looked very good. And I got to say, one of the bad things that I want to take away from the game, to jump into that real quick, was, first of all, the Phantom Punch by Jeremy Lane.
Come on, man.
The Phantom Punch was one of the worst calls I have seen in recent memory when you're talking about the National Football League and the problems they've been having with officiating. First of all, Jay Lane got snatched to the ground by his face mask.
Right.
And then he didn't even throw a punch, Drew. I don't know what they were looking at, but I think that play right there helped change the outcome of it's tough to say that at such an early point in the game. You don't want to point to that, something like that at an early stage in the game as having an effect on the total end of the game.
Right.
But it did. You look at Jay Lane, he's thrown out of the game at that point, right? And then during that play, Nasir Jones intercepts an Aaron Rodgers ball and runs it into the house for a touchdown. And then there's a phantom block in the back on Aaron Rodgers.
Phantom. Emphasis on phantom.
Phantom.
Right.
So that is what my takeaway was for some of the bads of the games.
Well, yeah, man, I would definitely agree, man. I really felt like the Jay Lane play just was a terrible call. And you know that came from the call before, a couple plays before. I think Cobb got a personal foul because he was jawing at Jay Lane after a play, a tackle on the sideline. And then, like they say, they always get the second guy, but Jay Lane didn't even
It wasn't
throw
even a
punch.
second guy.
Yeah. And I know that Jay Lane is with the action, and, you know, as they called the flag, I was like, all right, Jay, I mean, of course, if you can do it, you can't get caught. But then they slowed it down and they played it back for everybody. It was a terrible call. And like you said, I thought that was very big in the game because now Shaq has to come in as the starting right corner, and then you move my man number
Coleman.
Yeah, but you move him to the nickel, so it kind of changes the concept of the defense. I don't know if Coleman's ready. I don't know if they feel confident in calling all of the defensive plays. So you kind of handicap yourself a little bit. I know he came in, he made some good plays.
They actually held it down pretty good.
It's just different. It's different.
Yeah, Shaq Griffin, I have to say he was impressive to me. I feel comfortable with the fact that, you know, put him over on that corner on the other side of Sherm, and automatically, you know, Aaron Rodgers is a KG veteran. He knows what's going on. He knows it's a rookie over there, and so they attacked him.
Right.
And you know what? He made play after play after play, and like I said, they held them scoreless for the entire first half. So I'm pretty impressed with Shaq Griffin, man. Let's get to the ugly, man. And it's, you know, we've been talking about this ad nauseum for the last couple of years. Issues with the offense really lead back to the offensive line. And, you know, we try to sugarcoat it as much as possible or paint a pretty picture and say, you know, they're a work in progress. But there comes a point in time. When does there come a point in time where we got to say, call a spade, man, and just say the offensive line is just not very good? I mean, and I'm not saying that they can't get better, but right now, they're just not very good. The past few seasons, they've been the thing that's hamstring this offense and have hamstring this Seattle Seahawks football team, true?
Right. Well, I'll just say this. Just like I said early on in this show, I think it's a little too early to really start to point the finger. Anytime you look in this, if we really got in the film room and we seen exactly what was going on, it couldn't have been.
You'll see a bunch of guys getting ran past. Offensive linemen getting ran past by defensive linemen.
It couldn't have been 100% on the offense. I know, of course, there are some assignments missed. You got new guys out there. You got a team that's or you got a position group that's trying to gel and this and that. And, you know, they're trying to be nice about it. But I do have faith in these guys because they wouldn't be out there if they weren't guys that the coaches felt like it could get it done. I know that this may be a position to where that there's not a lot of big money that's spent as in some of the other positions, but this is a position that they, of course, are going to spend a lot of time on. So they are going to try to make this thing work to the best of their ability. And I got faith in the guys. I think they're going to come around, and I think over time they'll do it by committee. It won't so much be a superstar on the O-line, but I think they can get it done as a committee, as they grow as a group, and I think they can come together. I got faith, T.
I know you got faith, and here's the thing, and I'm going to be completely
even though it was
honest.
a bad showing.
It wasn't
terrible
bad showing. It wasn't bad. It was horrible.
Right.
If you look at some of the memes that they have online, you'll watch, it'll be 4 Green Bay defensive linemen and a whole bunch of Seattle Seahawks offensive linemen chasing them from behind. And it's just not a good look. And again, I'm gonna go on record and say I'm saying this to them in hopes that they can pull it together.
Do you think the coaches expect the O-line to be dominant, though? Because maybe it's some type of scheme that's not coming together. Wait,
the scheme that says go get Russell unfiltered.
The scheme can't be, okay, I'm going to just drop Russ back and there's going to be all this protection. It can't be like that because they know where the leaks are on the team. So I think it's a group effort.
It is a group effort.
Yeah.
And again, and here's the thing. When it comes to playing offensive line, a lot of times it's like choreography. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You're not just always out there on an island by yourself. You have to know what the guy to the left of you is doing and the guy to the right of you is doing.
Oh, yeah, but you
guys
got to dance
have to be
together.
on the same page, right? Because if one guy's doing the wrong thing, that leaves leaks and sieves all over the place where you're leaving Russell exposed. Mm-hmm. You're leaving your running game exposed. You do have to be working as one unit. That being said, there comes a point in time where you, as an offensive lineman in the National Football League, have to line up and look at that dude that's right in front of you and smash him in the face and make sure he goes on the ground and does not touch your quarterback. And you got to kind of take that personally. And you got to have a chip on your shoulder about it. And that's all I'm saying. And I put that out there not to I'm not dissing these guys because they're professionals. They're there for a reason. But I think, hopefully they'll get a little chip on their shoulder and say, we're tired of being the scapegoat.
Right.
And we are not going to be the ones that they point to when they say the offense is failing.
Right. I think that you can have as many chips as you want to. You can
Chips
stack
ahoy.
up,
Bet you buy the chip.
You can stack up all the chips you want, but it comes down to execution and doing the right thing. I know that some guys may be bigger, stronger, faster, but if you go back to technique and the discipline and the playbook, that's always going to save you. And that's what I was taught as a player. I didn't always see myself as the fastest, as the biggest, as the strongest, but I made sure my technique was right, and I worked that craft every day.
Hey, before we get out of here, I know we just said the offensive line is like a big five-man choreography. Everybody has to be on the same page and in step, right? I just got a text on the text board, 49451, that says, they aren't the Jackson 5.
Oh.
They're more like the Osmonds.
I thought they were going to say high five.
No. High five got some choreography, too. Hey, hopefully they can pull it together this weekend against the 49ers in CenturyLink Field. We are favored by 13.5 points. The San Francisco 49ers aren't a very good team right now. So, we will see if they can pull it together and, build that thing up, man. I'm excited to see it. We will be out there checking it out firsthand, and we'll be reporting to you live next week from the Barbershop. When we come back, though, we're going to close out the show with Holla Holla with True and T Holla, where we answer your questions. We don't care what they are. Send them in here to the station, 49451. We're going to get to them right next on the Barbershop on Sports Radio 950 KJR.
Now back to the Barbershop, brought to you by Trufant Auto Detail and by the Trufant Family Foundation on Seattle Sports Radio 950 KJR.
Welcome back to the Barbershop Show here on Sports Radio 950 KJR. It's T and True coming to you live from Snoqualmie Casino. And it's that part of the show where we are going to answer your questions that you have been texting us and tweeting us for the last day. It's Holla Holla with True and T Holla. True, you ready to get down with this?
Let's get it.
Nathaniel.
How are you guys?
We good, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm ready for this game on Sunday.
I bet you are. But everybody doesn't know, our board op, Nathaniel, is a San Francisco fan. We're not going to hold that against him. Yeah.
Got to have at least one everywhere, right?
Yeah, anyways. So what up, man? What have they been hollering at us, man? What kind of questions you got?
All right, so we got a guy, he said, is there a quarterback controversy in Pullman?
Oh.
I'm going to go on record and say no. I don't think there is. You got Luke Falk, who is right now the most prolific quarterback in the history of the Washington State Cougars University.
Right.
So I can't see there being any reason why they would pull him out. The other guy's a sophomore. He's going to have his time to shine.
I don't think so either. I think with Luke, of course, he has all type of records, and everybody's seen exactly what he can do. And I think we know who he is. Some people may say that he's not getting any better, or maybe he's going downhill or whatever, but I don't believe that, and I believe that Coach Leach still believes in him.
I believe so, too. What else you got, Nathaniel?
All right, so why is the NFL handling the cap situation so poorly?
The Colin Kaepernick situation?
Yeah, old 49er quarterback.
I just think there's so much pressure from so many different angles. You know, there's a lot of people that are upset about the fact that he knelt during the national anthem and took that stance, and there's a lot of sponsorship money that's involved. So I think you don't want to upset that apple cart when it comes to the business of the National Football League. And then again, you have on the other hand, you have a lot of people who are unsupportive of it. So it's a tough situation for them to be in, True.
I think they just kind of hope it fades away. And I know it's still there, but it seems like it's kind of getting pushed to the background. And I think if we want to help out Cap and his cause, I think that I wouldn't say that he's content in not playing, but he's really down for the cause. So he's willing to pretty much sacrifice himself in order to push his agenda. And, I feel what he's doing. And I think the league is doing it because they can, and they're big business, and they have the control.
Yeah, Cap needs to speak up for herself. Nathaniel, I think we got time for one more real quick. What you got?
All right, so would or should Russell Wilson give up some of his money to improve the offensive line? And quickly, I'm going to say, no, he shouldn't because it's not his fault.
It's not his fault, but if he want to live, you might need to sacrifice a couple dollars, man. You got all the money. I mean, you got it, Russ. Share the wealth.
Man, I just started watching Ballers, right? I'm late to the game.
On HBO.
Yeah, the HBO show. So, they went to some of the other players, and they kind of restructured, and they did this and that. So that's up to the masters of the game, Pete and John, I think, to rearrange this thing. And maybe I think that the person who asked this question, I think they got a point. Maybe they can go and sign a big-time guy on the O-line.
Yeah, Russ, give up some of that check, man. Save yourself. It's all about longevity.
Not just Russ, but everybody else.
We want you to live.
Everybody else. Let's do it together.
Hey, thank you guys for joining us here. We are going to be at Snoqualmie Casino. Every week that the Seahawks have a home game, we are going to be in the house. Come down here and hang out with us. Play some cornhole, maybe some slots, some poker, some 21. It's going to be a lot of fun, man. We're excited to get out to CenturyLink this weekend. We hope we see you guys. It's the Barbershop here on Sports Radio 950 KJR.
Hey, it's T. Holla. And when I'm not hanging out with you guys here in the barbershop, I'm sitting in an office at my family's financial services company. Sometimes that office space needs some fixing up, and whether that be a new door or wall, or even if we need a brand new office built, we call EBI. Ellsworth Builders Incorporated is a local construction company that specializes in commercial tenant improvement. Since 1991, EBI has been serving retail outlets, restaurants, auto detail companies, biotech companies throughout the Puget Sound region with all their commercial construction needs. If you want fast, courteous service and high-quality construction work done, call EBI at 425-482-2904. Or you can check out the website, ellsworthbuilders.com.